Hello and welcome to this session in which we will discuss control charts. When you think of control charts, I want you to think of a heart rate monitor. What does the heart rate monitor shows? It shows your heart rate. It monitors your heart rate. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. So control charts are tools used by manufacturing and business processes to monitor. So rather than monitoring your heart rate, you're monitoring how a process changes over time. What's happening to some variable? For example, the number of defects in our manufacturing process. It's used to determine whether a manufacturing process is in a state of control. So when we're monitoring the defect, we want to know, are these defects acceptable? Are they under control or out of control? So control charts are charts that are type of a line chart, and you're going to see this, that shows data point in order of occurrence. And this chart is form of internal benchmarking. What do I mean by this? It means the company comparing itself to itself by setting certain benchmarks, and you're going to see what I mean in a moment, and seeing if they are exceeding the upper and the lower benchmark. Let's go ahead and look at steps on how companies start or create their control charts. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, farhatlectures.com. Farhat Accounting Lectures is a supplemental educational tool that's going to help you with your CPA exam preparation as well as your accounting courses. My CPA material is aligned with your CPA review course such as Becker, Roger, Wiley, Gleam, Miles. My accounting courses are aligned with your accounting courses, broken down by chapter and topics. My resources consist of lectures, multiple choice questions, true-false questions, as well as exercises. Go ahead, start your free trial today. First thing they do, they collect data. They gather data from the process over a period of time. This could be anything. For example, I'm going to be using the number of defects found in a manufactured parts each day. That could be the variable. You're going to plot this data. You put this data on a chart with the data points connected by a line over time. Now, obviously, I'm going to show you this on the next graph. I'm just showing you the steps. I want you to imagine this. Then you calculate an average. All these points. You calculate the average you collected and draw a line at that average on the chart. Then you add control limits. So basically, it looks something like this. There are many points, and you compute the average, and you draw a line. Okay. So you add control limits. You'd say this is the upper limit and this is the lower limit. So this is what I would accept maximum. If it goes above this, there's something wrong. If it goes below, wow, that's great. If we're talking about the number of defects. And we're going to look at the graph soon. You add control limit. You calculate the upper and lower limit based on the average and the natural variability of the process and draw these as lines too. These limits represent the expected variation in the data if the process is running without any unusual or special circumstances. It should stay within that. Then you analyze the chart. By looking at the chart, you will see the process, see if it's in between those controls. If something is unusual, you need to investigate. Simply put, a control chart helps to see if the process is under control, as I mentioned, or if their problems need to be fixed. It's like a weather map for your process. It cannot predict the next storm, but it can tell you if something is not right. And this is a sample of it. So let's think of this as the number of defect per 10,000 unit produced. So the average will be, let's say, keep it at 100. So this is the red line. So let's start to analyze this chart. The data in blue represent the measurement collected over time. This is the number of defect this day. This is the number of defect this day. I'm going to put X's on those. These are the blue line. And we connect the blue line. The red line is the average of all these points. So we compute the average and we draw a line. And this is the red line, the average. Then the green dashed line represent the upper and lower limit, which are set by 3 standard deviation away from the average, if that's what we want to do, 3 standard deviation. So this is the upper right here, and this is the lower. Again, if this is the number of defect, we want the number of defect to be lower, closer to the lower line. So when do we raise a red flag? We raise a red flag when the number of defect, when this blue line goes above the green line. Then we know something is not is not normal. Now, if it goes below the green line, also we want to know why. Maybe we are utilizing a new process and we need to change our lower limit if that's the case. So if data point fall outside the green line, it indicate that the process variation is not due to a random chance alone, and there may be some special cause that needs to be investigated. And hopefully it's a good cause where the number of defect fell below the lower limit. In this example, all the points are within what's expected, suggesting that the process is in control. It's what we expect. And this is basically what you need to know about the control charts for the CPA exam. What should you do now? Go to Farhat Lectures, look at additional MCQs, resources that's going to help you prepare for your CPA exam, for your accounting certification, for your courses. Good luck, study hard, and of course, stay safe.